50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going to run it all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football game. Auburn's going to win the football game. He ran the missed field goal back. He ran it back 109 yards. They're not going to keep him off the field tonight. Holy cow. Oh, my God. Auburn wins. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl. Auburn has won the Iron Bowl in the most unbelievable fashion you will ever see.
Welcome in, everyone, to a brand new edition of the Dream Wager. Today is Thursday, January 9th, 2025. Elvis, we are here. We got NFL Super Wild Card Weekend. We got the college football playoffs semifinals. We got Notre Dame, Penn State tonight, Ohio State, Texas on Friday night. We got how many games? We got 8 games here in the association as well. We're locked and loaded, kid. How we doing? It's been a fucking cold one up here in the Northeast.
Yeah, it's definitely been a lot of coldness coming through in the Northeast. I don't know what's going on. Every morning for the past 2 or 3 days, it's been 10 to 20 degrees. It's been
It's
brick,
the wind,
people.
bro.
It's been brick, people. So, going through that. But besides that, we're doing pretty good. Excited for hopefully a historic weekend.
Yeah.
We got, first college football playoff Thursday and Friday, and then we're gonna go right into Super Wild Card Weekend. So I hope everything goes great, and I hope not just us, but everybody could make some money.
You know what's really been helping the remote to start? So when I wake up, I start the car. So when I get to the car, it's warm already.
Yeah. See, that's lavish things. I'm not.
So you're telling me you don't have that in your car?
I don't.
Oh, no.
I have a lot of things in my car. But
Mom has it.
Yeah. I make sure her car has it. Yeah, of course.
Nice. But yeah, that honestly, I got a car wash today. I'm kind of anal with that. I got to get the salt off the car. Yeah. So I got a car wash today. Bro, within 5 minutes of me wiping it down and drying it, bro, it was already icicles. It was already freezing.
Yeah. No, you can't do it. Like right now, I left the TSX. I left it parked. I've just been driving the CRV. I'm gonna wait till Monday and then wash the TSX.
Yeah. Stay warm out there. If you're in the Northeast, you guys know what we're talking about. But, okay, yeah, we got a great episode. First semifinal playoffs here. We got NFL Super Wild Card Wednesday. Awful news. I was reading reports and articles that the NFL is trying to get away from just saying super and just saying NFL Wild Card Weekend. No. It's Super Wild Card Weekend.
Realistically, I could care less.
It's catchy. You got to admit that.
I'll say this. The fact that it's 3 days of football, that makes it super.
Yes.
If they take away the Monday night, we could go back to wild card weekend.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. But yeah, there is a Monday game. We got 1 game Monday, 3 on Sunday, and 2 on Saturday on Amazon Prime too. So Amazon.
Oh, they both on Prime?
Yeah, they're both on Prime.
Oh well, thank you, and much love to my girlfriend for having Amazon Prime, because I won't support what my girlfriend does. So shout out my girlfriend.
I'll shout out my girlfriend too, because she gave me her Amazon Prime account. I mean, you gotta love the girlfriends during this time of year. They're helping us out.
I'm an eBay type of guy, so I'll wait 4 days.
Nice.
I'll wait 4 days. It's cool.
But kid, before we get into it, I really wanted to talk real quick about the NFL because we had more firings. Titans, they wind up firing their GM, Rand Carlton. It's unfortunate, I feel we talked to Chelsea in the offseason about future in the Titans and whatnot, and they spent a ton of money in the offseason. They got Calvin Ridley, L'Jarius Sneed, Tony Pollard, Lloyd Cushenberry. They got Sebastian Joseph Day as well. So they added a lot of guys, but it ultimately led to them getting the number 1 pick and them just being 3-14. Now, the schedule was tough. Quarterback play wasn't good, but I don't understand getting rid of your GM, but keeping your head coach. That never really... I never really understand that. So, one, do you get the move, and do you agree with the Titans letting him go?
Do I get the move? I'll say this. If he was the one banging the table saying, let's take Will Levis, maybe okay. Maybe he's that. I would have let it ride, Dale. You had a bad season, yes. I like the aggressiveness he had in the offseason. He got Tony Pollard. He got Sneed, coming off a Super Bowl. We saw how dominant he was in the playoff run. We saw what he did to Zay Flowers at the goal line. We know how impactful he could be. So I like some of the moves that he did. He got Kyrie, he got DeAndre Hopkins the year prior. So he's been making some moves. It's just not adding up to win. So I could see why they fired him. But at the end of the day, I like the fact that he wasn't just gonna lay over and watch his team rock. He was actually trying to make moves to improve the team. It just wasn't working.
Yeah, it just wasn't working. And right now, the job openings for GM, the Jets, and the Titans. And for head coaching, we got a bunch. We got your Patriots, my Jets, we got the Jaguars, we got the Bears, we got the Saints. And like I predicted, now we have the Raiders as well. Raiders, they've gone from John Gruden, who resigned in 2021. I think NFL
Yeah,
is
I heard he might be a hot name in
good.
this year's
Good
coaching
because
cycle.
NFL did him dirty. NFL did him dirty with the emails.
Yeah,
we could
it,
do a whole
we
podcast.
n- we don't need to say who's right, who's wrong. All we gotta say is they should have never been released to the public. That's all I'm gonna say.
100%. It's unfortunate, but they wind up letting go Antonio Pierce. They moved on from Josh McDaniels, who was fired in 2023, and now they're firing Antonio Pierce. I get it. I mean, they had every opportunity to get the number one pick. They were on a 10-game losing streak, and then they wind up winning a few games towards the end. Several players, continued to voice their support for Antonio Pierce after the season. They said he was the guy, but I feel obviously ownership, Tom Brady, Mark Davis, they decided to go in a different direction, and they didn't really want to give him another chance. Are you surprised by this one?
No, but I'm gonna say 60% no, 70% no, 30% yes. Just because I'm an Antonio Pierce fan. I think filling in as an interim head coach last season, he did a hell of a job, right?
Yeah.
This season, kind of a letdown spot, but at the end of the day, you came in, you signed Gardner Minshew to the contract, made him your starter, didn't work out. We've seen some moments with Aiden O'Connell, but at the end of the day, you wasn't a very good team to start with. You let honestly one of your best offensive weapons go back to back Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs in the offseason. So, what do you really expect it offensively if you're going to let your top two offensive weapons walk? So, yet defensive side was the stronger side, but you're in one of the best divisions in all of football. What did you honestly expect for Antonio Pierce to do this season, realistically?
Yeah. Now they have the 6th overall pick. I've heard rumblings, them with the relationship with Tom Brady, with the relationship of Mark Davis, coming in and trying to give the keys to the castle to Prime. You get Prime in at head coach. You trade up because obviously they can't get Shador at 6. He's not going to fall that much. You trade up, maybe with the Cleveland Browns or the Tennessee Titans or maybe even the Giants. You trade up. You go get Shador, you pair his son with Prime. Do you like that direction if they move that way, hypothetically?
Yeah, I highly doubt. It damn near sounds impossible because I want to see Tennessee trading away the first round pick. Like, if you give them maybe 3 future first round picks, maybe,
yeah,
maybe.
And you're starting there, by the way, because we saw what the Bears and the Panthers did. You're starting at 3 first-round picks.
Yeah, starting at 3 first round picks. So it might have to be 4 or 5, really, or like 3 with two second rounders.
And a player might be a player because they got rid of DJ Moore.
So that scenario seems damn near impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Most likely is maybe talk Dion out of Colorado, but landing Shador, that's a dub. It's a dub.
I don't know. I don't see them moving up, if I'm being honest. Like I said, they have to give, or like you said, they have to give them the haul. And I don't think they have, besides draft picks and capital, I don't see any players outside of Max Crosby that's really tradable. You know what I mean? Outside of Max Crosby, who on that roster is like, he's the guy or he's a guy?
A solid piece who I think you could get a draft pick for, Jacoby Myers. He's not a household name, maybe not a true number 1 wide receiver, but he's a guy who could come in and help you win right now. Brock
Yeah.
Bowers. Brock
Oh
Bowers.
yeah, yeah. I
I'm gonna
forgot
say
Brock
no,
Bowers.
no. He's not
He's
going to be.
untouchable
Yeah,
though.
he's untouchable. Max Crosby.
Untouchable. You can't let him go.
You could. They let
I know.
Khalil Mack go.
I know, but he was a little past his prime. Like
Who?
Max Crosby is in the prime of his career. Unless they don't want to give him the money because he is up for a contract extension.
At the end of the day, you got to rebuild. What's
Yeah.
the fastest way to rebuild? Get as many draft picks as possible.
But if you're trying to win a fan base over, especially in a newer market,
you go out there and draft Shador Sanders.
Yeah. But
That's
what's
what
it
you
say
do.
to your
Or-
fan base
or-
when you let go of Max Crosby?
It all depends what you get in return.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you go out there, you trade Max Crosby, and you go out there, let's just say you do a splash. Let's just say, hypothetically, they go out there and sign Aaron Rodgers. Give some hope.
Yeah.
And then trade away Max Crosby, trade away this guy, get a second-round pick, third-round pick. Maybe those picks turn into some studs.
Yeah. Very interesting. We'll see what happens there, but yeah, no surprise there. Also, we talked about on the show a few days ago how the Bears they put in a request to interview Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
To no surprise, the Cowboys declined that. They said, "Hey, in which all likelihood they're going to retain Mike McCarthy. They're going to keep him as the head coach. I thought he did enough to keep his job."
He is will be free agent head coach. This was
Yeah.
his last year of his contract, so Jerry Jones has to give him a new contract.
Yeah, and I do think he will. By the way, we were talking about the Bears real quick. Your boy, you mentioned a few weeks ago, I think you were the first to the punch. Pete Carroll, he's interviewing for the Bears head coaching job. Do you like that fit?
I told you, USC Tides, and we seen Pete Carroll do it before. Young quarterback, rookie contract, get a good defense going, you could possibly get the job done. All I'm saying is Pete Carroll ain't there for the fun and games. He's going there to get a job done. He's not there to be Caleb Williams' friend.
No.
He's there to elevate Caleb Williams. So I think that's exactly what he needs. To me, I'll bring in an offensive coordinator who could elevate Caleb Williams. I think Pete Carroll will be a great fit. Maybe not the perfect fit, but I think a great fit.
Yeah. We'll see what happens there. And then lastly, good news. You were I think first to the punch, so credit Elvis and the Dream Wager when reporting this. But good news for the Lions. Dan Campbell said he expects David Montgomery to be ready for the divisional round. So getting some reinforcements in the backfield after their bye. Big news for that offense in Detroit.
Yeah, huge news. Even though we saw Jahmyr Gibbs honestly take the game over on Sunday night for the division, it's still a pretty good, let's just say, gadget to use when needed in David Montgomery. Still 100%. Stellar back, and it's going to be, you could make the case the best rushing attack in the playoffs.
Oh, yeah, 100%. All right, and then we haven't talked about it in a few days. I wanted to touch on the NBA real quick. We got some news according to Shams. Paolo Banchero is coming back. Unfortunately, Kyrie, he's going to miss some time. He has a bulging disc in his back. They said he's going to miss at least 2 weeks. They're going to evaluate him towards the end of January. No Luka, no Kyrie. Now they just have Klay Thompson. Big win at home yesterday against the Lakers. But do you worry about this Dallas Mavericks team right now? They're slipping a little, but they're in the 5th seed right now at 21-16.
No, if it was like March or like right after the All-Star break and then going down for an extended period of time, I'd be like, okay, because they'll be coming back right before or right there come playoff time, and they might be a little rusty, might be a little out of rhythm. So right now, not too concerned. Even if they end up being, let's just say hypothetically, a play-in team, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. At the end of the day, we know what the Dallas Mavericks are capable of doing. Now you added Klay Thompson. Let's see what they could do come playoff time. And let's not forget, people, there's a guy that's very unhappy and wants to find his love for basketball once again in Jimmy Butler.
And that's exactly who I wanted to talk about. Perfect segue, because a lot of people, a lot of ex-NBA players who have podcasts, they've come out and, they've given their 2 cents on where they think Dallas is obviously a team that's in the loop. I want to throw a team out there that is a little different, but I think a reunion could be beneficial, not just for him, but for another young star. You're making a face for people not watching it live. You're making a face. What team do you think I'm saying?
Minnesota.
Exactly. You pair him up with Anthony Edwards. He's unhappy with Julius Randle right now. There are rumors that they went at it in the locker room. Anthony Edwards needs a guy, and Jimmy Butler is an alpha.
Yeah, I just don't like the fit because we all know this is Anthony Edwards' team, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
Jimmy Butler been there already. He knows what's going on. He wanted to make his team years ago. Didn't really happen. Now with Anthony Edwards there, or unless Jimmy Butler's gonna take a step back, and
eventually he's gonna have to.
I'm not sure if Jimmy Butler's ready for that moment yet. Maybe he is because he's trying to go to a contender. Let's just say if he goes to the Dallas Mavericks, it's Luka's team. He goes to Golden State, that's Steph's team. He goes to Phoenix, that's a lot of people say that's Kevin Durant's the best player on the team, but that's Devin Booker's team. So it all depends where he ends up. In my opinion, I think either one, Jimmy Butler's gonna have to learn how to become not Robin.
Yes.
He's gonna have to learn how to become Robin. If not, he's gonna just have to bite his tongue just a little bit and just wait to come playoff time. Because we all know playoff Jimmy could cook come playoff time.
Yeah.
It's just, is he gonna be accepting of the second role?
We even saw it in Miami a few years back when Kevin Love, he was the number one guy. He was dropping 40 a game in Minnesota. Comes over to Miami. He wasn't just not the one. Cleveland, excuse me. No, going to Miami as well. Oh no, that was Chris Bosh. Bosh. But same thing. Even Kevin Love, like they learned how to be number 3. And I think you made a great point. No matter what team he ends up going to, he's not going to be the number 1 option. I could make the argument if he wants to go to Dallas, he's the 3rd option.
Yeah.
With a healthy Kyrie's going to demand a lot of the ball, especially since he's the point guard. So I don't know. I mean, there's rumbling. Denver too.
Like,
you might be the 3rd.
Realistically, what championship contending team? He's not going to be number 1 in anywhere
besides the Nets, and he wants to go to a contender. So I don't know. I really want to see. I mean, he got suspended. Pat Riley kind of was just like, you know what, enough is enough. He suspended him. Jaime Jaquez has been balling, though. I'll tell you that much. He had a triple-double the other night. But now there's rumblings in Phoenix. They're not doing good. They're under 500. They're sitting at 16 and 19 at the 12th seed right now. Things are not going well. They want to trade Bradley Beal. I've heard rumors about that. Not a good time.
Clause.
Yeah, he has no trade clause.
So you're going to have to give him a lot of money for him to lift that no trade clause. And I don't know if they're willing to do it.
And it probably has to also be a destination he wants to go to.
Yeah.
You can't just send him to Detroit.
Yeah, you got to send him somewhere where he wants to play, and you got to pay him for doing so.
Gun to your head right now, January 9th, where do you think, maybe towards the end of the month, maybe in a few weeks, maybe closer than we think, maybe towards the deadline next month, gun to your head, where do you see Jimmy Butler ending up? Because he's not going to stay in Miami. That's a fact.
If I had to pick realistically, I'm going to say somewhere he don't want to go. I'm going to throw a team out there who I honestly think Jimmy Butler will accept playing with and honestly contend for a title.
Can I guess?
Yes.
Indiana.
Memphis Grizzlies.
Okay. I didn't think of that one.
You like that?
I like that one. But even there, he's not going to be the number 1.
That's my thing. Is he willing to accept it?
Yeah.
Because you can make the case. You can make the case still. Out of all those teams we just mentioned, he could be 1A to Ja. Or he could go in there and command the locker room right away because he could go in there. Ja, what have you accomplished? He went to the finals twice. Luka, he's been to the finals. What are you going to say to Steph? What are you going to say to Giannis? What are you going to say to Kevin Durant?
Jokic.
You can't say none of that. You can say something to Ja.
You could say something to Anthony Edwards. He's done more with less.
He's done more with less. I say that right there.
Yeah.
I would just say because Anthony Edwards is a little more outspoken.
Yeah,
than
no,
Ja.
he definitely is that.
Yeah.
Gun to my head, I'm gonna say Minnesota. I'm gonna go out on the limb. I'm gonna say they're gonna give a crazy package. They're gonna try to go out and get him in.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be a random team that that Jimmy doesn't love, but he's like, all right, I'll go there.
I'll make it work.
Yeah, or another team I'll throw out there just because they have some talent there, and they could compete. The Houston Rockets.
Now that is a team that is interesting because I think he could go in there and it could be his team immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Besides Fred VanVleet, I know he's won a ring, but
I honestly think maybe I want to say puts him at the contender conversation, but hey, win a playoff round or two, you're there. I'll like Houston a lot if they can land Jimmy Butler.
I mean, they're 7-3 in their last 10 right now. They're a good team. They're second team in the West. Well, I mean, no one's really going to catch OKC right now. They've won 15 games in a row, but they're not too far behind considering old things. They're 6.5 out of the number 1 seed. They're a good team. Their defense, I think the coaching really has helped. Doku.
I got Coach of the Year ticket live.
And that Southwest division, when we previewed it, I mean, I was dead wrong. I was thinking it was going to be Dallas. I even sprinkled a little on Memphis. Memphis is looking all right. Memphis is good. They're 24-13.
I took Houston over, sprinkle to win the division, sprinkle to make the playoffs, sprinkle to make the play-in, and I took Memphis over wins.
I mean, one that we were all right too is just fading the Pelicans. They might be the worst team. They might be the worst team in the league.
Zion is back. He looks good.
He looks a little skinny.
He looks good. If he can stay healthy, highly doubt they can make a push for the play-in. But we know when healthy, you got CJ, you got BI, you got Zion. It's a pretty good roster. Let's be honest.
All right, okay. Well, thank you for that. I wanted to talk a little NBA before we get into our picks. But before we do that, quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you each and every episode by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. It is no wonder why Viva was voted number 1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. With only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We favored tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around a golf with the boys or an elderberry watching Super Wild Card Weekend, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. I believe here at the Dream Wager and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kids, Super Wild. Oh, no, we're going to go to the college football first. We're going to go to this playoffs because they do go off earlier. We got a Thursday night game, 7:30. I think, what is the bowl? It's the Orange Bowl between Penn State, number 4 seed Penn State, versus number 5 seed Penn State. By the way, Notre Dame. What did I say?
You said number 4 seed Penn State against number 5 seed
Penn State. Dyslexic. By the way, you're not on Twitter as much as I am, but I don't know if you saw James Franklin and his comments. He said in front of Marcus Smart, James Franklin called all teams to be in a conference because, he's kind of salty that Notre Dame is not in a conference. They've been independent for, I think, over 100 years. They've been independent almost. And he goes, quote, "This is no knock at a coach or Notre Dame," which it is. You don't say that leading up to versing them, but I think everyone should be an accomplice. Shut the fuck up, James Franklin. I hate you. I never liked James Franklin. He can't win the big game. And I honestly think, if I'm being honest real quick, I think more teams should be independent. I think more teams are moving towards that. You see the shrink of the Pac-12. unfortunately. We're starting to see the other Mountain West go away. We're starting to see other conferences go away. So I think more teams are actually going to go be independent, and I advocate for that. So I think it's a pussy ass call and quote from James Franklin, and I hope they get boat raced. Anyway, Orange Bowl down in Miami. We got Notre Dame favorite -1, -118, -120 on the money line. +1 for Penn State, +100 on the money line for them. Total 45.5. Right off the bat, kid, total stands out to me. That number is just extremely high for two top 5 defenses in the country. I think we're going to see a very low scoring game. I'm going to take Notre Dame here. I'll lay the 1. If you want to just take them on the money line, I like that. -120 is not a bad price, but I'll lay the 1. It's at -115. You could get -110s out there, another book, so shop around, but I'll lay the 1 with Notre Dame. It comes down to coaching. Outside of Nick Saban, who can we say was the best coach in college football? Kirby Smart, right, from Georgia?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And Marcus Freeman outcoached him last week. He truly did. He outcoached him. And yes, Carson Beck and their quarterback wasn't there, but Marcus Freeman outcoached him on both sides of the ball. You got to tip your cap to Marcus Freeman. He's a hell of a coach. I trust him over James Franklin. Quarterback, I trust Riley Leonard over Drew Aller as well. I'm going to go Notre Dame, kid. I don't think this one is close. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, maybe 24-10, 24-14, but I love the under. I think that is the play. I'm going to take the under 45.5, and I'm going to take the Fighting Irish. I think they make it to the national championship, kid.
Yeah, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. Last week we saw both these teams win by double digits, but the difference is Notre Dame beat Georgia, one of the best teams in the country, by double digits. Penn State beat Boise State. Well, no disrespect to Boise State, but you're just not Georgia, the reigning champs. So give me Notre Dame. I'm gonna be honest. I'm surprised it's not. They're not more favorite. I think it should have been at least 2.5, maybe even 3. So you want to lay the 1, lay the 1. You want to take the money line, take the money line, Dill. But I'm with the Fighting Irish here.
Yeah, I mean, do you think they had the easiest road, Penn State? And it's no disrespect to Boise State, but like
out of the four remaining teams, yes.
Yeah.
But is that a knock against them? No. But realistically, if I had to answer, yes.
All right. I just wanted to know. All right, let's go to the next game. The next game is not on Thursday. It is Friday night, 7:30 in Texas. I think it's at Jerry World. Yes, AT&T Stadium. It's the All-State Sugar Bowl at AT&T Stadium. Had to get my helmet back out, kid. I don't know if you see it, but let's fucking go, baby. The Ohio State is taking on Texas. Texas will probably be the crowd, 60-40. It is in Texas. Mm-hmm. Ohio State laying 5.5 here on the road, -220 on the money line, +5.5 for the Longhorns, +190 on the money line. Total 53.5. Before I give mine, I will let you lead it off, kid. What are we feeling here?
I'm gonna be honest. This game was a little tougher to come down on, just because the spread was just a little up there in my opinion. I do think this is gonna be a very entertaining game. I do like the over. I think over 53.5, 54 is a very gettable number. But I can make the case. Besides the Michigan game, Ohio State has been the best team all year. Yeah. They played Oregon great. What was it? Week 7, week 6, something like
week
that.
6.
Yeah, week 6. They played them right to the end. I think it was a 3-point game. Ohio State gave them everything they could take on the road, and then we saw what happened last week. They were just unmatched. Ohio State looked like an NFL team playing a college team. That's how good they look. Got to give credit to Day as well. I came for his job after that Michigan job. You got to give him credit. That was an impressive win. And that's what made me this what made me come down and pick this game, Dale. Besides that Michigan game, you can make the case Ohio State's been the best team in the country. Give me the -5.5 with Ohio State. And not for 9 people, I think you should put the ticker in now. Ohio State as national champs.
Yeah, kid. After that game against Oregon, I put in a ticket at -110 for Ohio State to win the national championship. You're right. I think they've been the best teams. They psychologically they just can't beat Michigan right now.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
just
I
can't
don't
do
know
it.
what it is.
Their balls just shrink up when Michigan comes in.
I say they should take the next 3 years, 5 years off just for that game. Let it interim. Let's OC call just for that day. Because he can't win the game.
My thing is now, because I'm in an Ohio State group chat and I'm in like little discords where I hear and I talk to some Ohio State fans. People are back in on Ryan Day now. Yeah. If he goes out there and wins a national championship, they're thinking
he's good.
I know.
Job secured for 5 years.
Yeah.
He could lose to Michigan 3 out of the next 5 years.
But that's not the standard, Elvis, and you know that.
I agree with you. Your job, number one priority is to beat Michigan. And then second is to win a national championship. Yeah. Third, have the number one recruiting class.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and now we're seeing with Chip Kelly as the offensive coordinator, we saw it last week. He's starting to throw it to our boy, the wide receiver for Ohio State.
Smith?
Jeremiah Smith. I don't know why it's taken him so long. They've had the best receiving core in the country all year, but Travion Johnson, one of the best running backs in the country as well. So I think it's a route. I've never trusted Texas all year. I don't think Quinn Ewers is a good quarterback. Put Arch Manning in. I don't trust Stark. I don't think he's a good coach. Now, there are criticism of Ryan Day, and I've been one of the biggest critics of Ryan Day, and rightfully so. I think it's all deservingly so. But he's a better coach than Stark. It feels like Stark cramps up or shrinks under pressure. Not the biggest Quinn Ewers fan, and my thing with Texas is they've had one of the best offensive and defensive lines in the country, but they don't play like it. They don't play that physical up front where you need to win at the point of attack where you would think coming into the season that they would play like. So I don't know. I think Will Howard, he got his confidence back. I think he's going to throw to Jeremiah Smith. I think they're going to run the ball. Chip Kelly, I think they got their swagger back. And let's be honest, who does Texas really beat outside of the playoffs? They've versed like 6 or 7 backup quarterbacks in the season. They lost twice to a really good Georgia team. This team is not good. They're fraudulent. They should have lost to Arizona State. Kid, I know we do our lock, dog, and teaser for the NFL, but this is my lock of the weekend. I'm putting a lot of units on the Ohio State Buckeyes. I think they blow them out here. Double digits. I'll lay the 5.5 if you want an alternate spread. 7, 8. I think they win by double digits. Give me the Ohio State Buckeyes going to advance to the national championship. Now, we do have hypothetical lines. If it is, I want to see what you think because, honestly, I was off. I think it is going to be Ohio State and Notre Dame. They have lines up for that game if it is those two teams advancing. What do you think the line would be?
Ohio State -4.5.
See, I thought it was going to be the same line. I thought it was going to be 5.5, 4.5. It's Ohio State 8.
Damn.
I think that's pretty big.
Texas, if I had to make I think Texas will be favored against them as well.
You're right. Texas, hypothetical line, Texas is favored against Notre Dame, but not by 8, -2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That
makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And if Ohio State plays Penn State, what do you think the spread is there?
I'm going to say higher. I'm going to say 9.5.
8.5. They only went up a half. And if it's Texas and Penn State, who do you think is favorite then? Texas
pick'em. No, Texas 2.5.
Yep, Texas -2.5. That is exactly correct. We're sharp now. We're getting the hang of it.
Nah. If it only went up a half for Penn State, I was like, it's only going to half.
It's only going to half. But all right, kid. Good luck. I know. I don't have a lot to root for in the NFL, in basketball right now, college. I hope you're rooting for me. I hope you root for my Ohio State Buckeyes, and I hope I could win a championship.
You heard what I just said a couple minutes ago.
Yeah. No, I didn't. And I smiled ear to ear when you said it.
I would advise anyone listening, if you have some extra money to blow, put it on Ohio State, and you most likely you'll get it back.
Kid, good luck. Hopefully there are good games here. And isn't it fitting also, too, that the top 4 teams are not in the semifinals? I thought that was funny. I thought that was funny as hell. Let's go to Super Wild Card Wednesday. Like I said, 2 games here on Saturday, 3 on Sunday, and then we got the Monday nighter against the Rams and the Vikings. We will head to Houston. The Texans, they got the first game, of course, even though they are the 4th largest city in the country. Surprisingly, they're always on the Saturday game, which makes sense, I think. Houston, home underdogs, plus 136 on the money line, plus 3. Chargers laying 3, minus 156 on the money line. Total 42.5. Kid, I will let you lead this one off, kid. How are you playing this one?
It's been weeks, a few weeks now. We've been waiting for this day, Dill. We've been saying it for weeks now. Houston, Texas ain't the same. I've been saying they're gonna back their way up to a division title, and they did. But give me the Chargers on the road, minus 2.5, minus 3. J.K. Dobbins is come back. We saw the passing attack, even though it was against the Raiders last week, look as good as it possibly can. Justin Herbert went off. Quentin Johnson, which I don't expect him ever in life to have 13 catches, about $180. Don't expect him to do that, but if he could just give you 5 catches, 60 yards a game in the playoffs, I think that'll be tremendous. Still, you already know Ladd McConkey is going to come in and step up. Can the Chargers and J.K. Dobbins dominate the time of possession? Let their defense take control of this game, because what has the Houston Texans been doing? They've been struggling on the offensive side for weeks now, for about a month now. Ever since Diggs went out, Tank Dell went out, it hasn't been the same offense still. So I'm gonna take the Chargers on the road. Give me Harbaugh coming in first season, winning his first playoff game right away. Give me the Chargers minus 2.5 on the road. And also, like I said, the offense been struggling. Dill, this number just honestly doesn't make any sense to me. Give me Joe Mixon under. I think under what? I think 70.5 rushing yards. It's just too high. These past to end the season, I don't even think he went over 40 yards rushing. Now come in a playoff game against a very good defensive team, especially that front. Give me under 70.5. I just don't see it. And I expect the Chargers, to play with a lead. And I know CJ Stroud and that offense, they're gonna have to pass the ball to get back in the game. I just don't know if Joe Mixon can lead them.
Yeah, we've talked about this for about, a month? Ever since I think Houston clinched the division, we said it doesn't matter. They're going to have a home playoff game, and they're going to be underdogs against whoever they play. Mm-hmm. We called it. Didn't matter if it was the Chargers, the Steelers. They were going to be underdogs. I'm on the same side as you. Shop around. There are 2.5s out there. I would lay it with the Chargers. That's my official play for this game. I'm a huge CJ Stroud fan. I think he's a really good quarterback, but the sophomore slump has really hit him. I don't think it's all his fault, though. Losing Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, even Nico Collins for a part of the year, that really hurts his offensive line. Their weakness as well. He's getting pressured on 38% of his dropbacks, second most amongst quarterbacks. I think that's a problem as well. He's under pressure. He really doesn't have the targets to hit. And I just think the Chargers defense, you mentioned it, they're a really good defense under Jim Harbaugh. And, I think they have a really good secondary, which, I think they're really going to lock up CJ Stroud, and it's going to be a really long day. He's only thrown 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions against man coverage, which they play 58% of the time. So, and offensively for the Chargers, I think with Ladd McConkey, he's gone over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. I think this is a really good team. I think they're going to run the ball as well. The one thing I do like for the Texans is they get a lot of pressure. Will Anderson on one side, you got Danielle Hunter as well. They're really good. They're going to get you pressure. But the problem is the Chargers offensive line, they have great tackles. You got Joe Alt, who you drafted top 10, and you got Rashad Slater, who's another top 10 pick you got, I think, a year or two ago. So I think Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, he does an excellent job mixing in personnel packages to really keep that pressure rate or that pass rush kind of at bay. So I don't know. I think the Chargers, they have the better coaching staff. No disrespect to DeMeco Ryans, but I think they got the better quarterback. I think they got the better defense. just think they're the better team, if I'm being honest. I'm going to back Jim Harbaugh in this spot as well. So, yeah, I'm going to lay the 2.5 here, kid, with the Chargers. Good season for the Texans, but, a lot to overcome here. Let's go to the night game here on Saturday. We'll go out to the bank. It's going to be a loud one, kid. Ravens hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Ravens laying 10 here at the bank, minus 505. It's the biggest spread here on Super Wild Card Weekend. Pittsburgh plus 10, plus 400. Opened up at 8.5. Money has come in on the Baltimore Ravens, and I think for good reason. Total is sitting at 43.5, kid. You laying this big number with the Ravens at home?
I don't love it, but I think that's the way to go, Dill. The Pittsburgh Steelers for the past month, offensively, it's just been a tragedy. Not able to run the ball with Najee Harris, Jalen Warren. George Pickens has been injured, and then when he returned from the injury, can't catch a ball. Who's going to step up on the outside if George Pickens is not able to, have a big day? I like Fairmouth. I think at the tight end position, I think he can have a big game. But, is it going to be Calvin Austin? Is it going to be Wallace? Is it going to be Van Jefferson? That's the question I can't answer. Yeah. So, with that being said, I like the Ravens a lot. I think it's also a great teaser spot, too. If you could get the 8.5, 9.5, whatever number you could get, even if it gets up to 10, I think it's a great teaser spot for Baltimore as well. But I think definitely Baltimore's the right side to go. I like Fairmouth over 42 receiving yards as well. And Calvin Austin is at 25. I don't know which one I like more, but I do like them both to go over just because I know the Ravens are going to go off. They're going to start off with a lead. We know the Steelers can't honestly run the ball consistently. It's going to be on Russ' shoulders to pass their way into this game. So I think George Pickens is going to get the attention. And if he gets a lot of balls thrown his way, is he going to be able to come down with them? That's the question.
Yeah, I got two plays here. I think they're the right side. I think it's crazy to say, but I do think the Ravens are the most complete team in the NFL right now. I think under Todd Monken in that offensive scheme, they've really taken a shape in his second year in Baltimore. His offense has finished the fourth most efficient since 1978. Lamar Jackson is playing the best football in his career. 45 touchdowns. It's just undeniable at this time. And I feel like the last time we saw the Ravens in the playoffs, they made. I was there. I'm like stuttering because I still don't understand why you move and you abandon the run game against a vulnerable Chiefs defense. I do not think they make the same mistake twice with Derrick Henry, especially Derrick Henry. He's ready. I think he's going to have a huge workload. He's had 20-plus rushing attempts in 8 of the last 12 Ravens wins this season, including 24 carries against the Steelers defense a couple of weeks ago. I don't think he'll play, but monitored it. We are a few days away, but I don't think Zay Flowers will play with that knee injury. He is day-to-day, according to John Harbaugh, but on the good news, Justice Hill is expected to return after a concussion that kept him out for a few games. So do think that is a positive for this offense. They've been outstanding, though, this offense. Defense is getting better as well. From weeks 1 to 10, Ravens, they rank 30th against the pass. But from week 11, they have been the best pass defense in the NFL. Marcus Williams, he was benched. Kyle Hamilton, he's moved to deeper coverage instead of playing that linebacker free safety. He's gone all the way back. Marlon Humphrey, he's moved to the full-time slot position. You make those few adjustments, you see it. They've been a really good defense. So I just don't see it as well. I think something's wrong in the locker room with George Pickens. Mike Williams, how good is he going to do? And what the problem is when they get down to the red zone, they struggle to score. They need to get into the end zone and it needs to be competitive. So I don't know. It's sat at 9.5. It's gone up to 10. That is a lot of points to lay against Mike Tomlin. I mean, I love to back Mike Tomlin. However, the trend suggests first half, I think, is a better look. Lamar Jackson, 59-37. That's 56% in the first half of his career. That's the best of any quarterback in the last 20 years. While the Steelers, 25 and 45 in the first half since 2021, the worst mark of any team. I'm going to back them in the first half, -6. I think it's a much reasonable number. I do like him in a teaser, like you mentioned. And I'm also going to go with Derrick Henry. I mentioned him a little earlier, over 20.5 rush attempts. He is a workhorse. I do not think this Baltimore Ravens staff is going to do what they did last season and abandon the run. They just can't, especially against this Steeler team who he's gotten 24-plus attempts his last time out against the Steelers. He is a workhorse. He is ready. He is healthy. Give me Derrick Henry over 20.5 rush attempts as well as Ravens first half -6. Thoughts on that real quick before we hit the Sunday?
Yeah, Dill, I love it. I do think Derrick Henry should get a workload. Unless for some reason, the Steelers jump out to like a 14-0 lead somehow. I expect Derrick Henry to get most of the workload. You don't have your number one wide receiver. I don't think Zay Flowers is gonna go. I think you're just gonna rely on Derrick Henry, run the ball with him, let Lamar Jackson play action and pick his shots off the read, and I think you could cruise to a victory here. The Steelers' offense been struggling. Long as your defense play like it has the last 5 weeks, and you control time and possession, I think the Ravens cruise to a victory.
All right, let's go to Sunday, 1 o'clock. We will head up to Orchard Park. It will always be Orchard Park to me. Buffalo Bills hosting the Denver Broncos. Line opened up 8.5. It's up to 9.5. I see 9s out there, but money is coming in on the Buffalo Bills. -9, 9.5, -475 on the money line. Denver Broncos +9.5, +385 on the money line. Total stayed around the same. It's at 47, 46.5 at some places as well. But I'm actually, I don't know if I agree with the line movement on the over, but or the under. But what do you like here, kid?
Yeah, one thing I could say is I do like Buffalo, but I think 9 points is too much.
Bo Nix, baby.
Yeah, I like Bo Nix. I'm a Bo Nix fan. It's just I don't. This Denver.
Are you a
team,
believer?
Yeah, I'm a believer.
Let's go.
Sure.
Let's go.
I'm a believer. I do think Bo Nix is going to be a NFL quarterback for the next 10 seasons. I do believe that. I just don't believe them going to Buffalo and being competitive against this very good team. I don't get me wrong, I don't agree with the 9 points, but I do see Denver losing by a touchdown. I won't take the 9. I won't take the 9 though. I also think Buffalo's another great teaser spot here. Give me the under 47.5. Two good defenses. Even though Buffalo's defense has been a little lackluster as of late, it's playoff time. This one it matters. They're healthy. I think Von Miller, Mike Manalo, and company is going to get after a rookie quarterback at that deal. And one thing for Denver, which I think that this is why I won't even take the +9. Last week against a bunch of backups, they struggled running the ball. Bo Nix led them in rushing. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball in Buffalo. And it come playoff time, what are you going to need to do to win these games? Run the ball. You got Laughlin over-unders at 33, and then their backup is at 22.5. You're not going to be able to win this game if Bo Nix is once again your leading rusher. So I do like Buffalo. I do say 9 points is a lot, but I do think they win by a touchdown or plus. But great T spot here, but give me the under 47. It's too many points.
Real quick, after a win total of 5.5, and I'm not a big Sean Payton fan, Hall of Famer, but you got to tip your cap to him. I mean, he's done a great job here in just 2 years, proving a lot of people wrong. They criticized the draft pick of Bo Nix on draft night. He's proved all the doubters wrong. I'm a believer. I saw it in college. I saw it in preseason. You said, let me see it in the regular season against starters, and I think rightfully so. But 29 passing touchdowns on the season, second most by a rookie in NFL history. First, I just want to tip my cap to him. I mean, hell of a season, and if it ends here on Sunday, you had a great season, and I agree. I think the next 10 years, they got their franchise quarterback. He is going to be a really good quarterback. Now, I do think Bo Nix can pass on this Bills defense, who second half of the season, their secondary hasn't been the best. Since week 9, Buffalo ranks 30th in EPA per pass attempt and 32nd in pass success rate. Broncos, they've gone 33 games without a 100-yard rusher. So that worries me. But you got Cortland Mims in the air. He registered 1,000-yard season. Marvin Mims, he's kind of had that breakout season as well. I do like Marvin Mims. I looked at the weather because you always got to look at the weather, especially now come January in Buffalo. It is supposed to snow Saturday, Sunday. It's supposed to be clear. I don't know. I kind of disagree with you and the line movement coming down. I actually like the over 46.5. I think Allen's legs could be a massive factor in this game. They always are. He ran for 70 plus yards in both playoff games last year. His rushing yards is at 39.5 at some books, 40.5 at others. I like that over. He's averaging 56.5 rushing yards per game in the playoffs. And the Broncos, they play a lot of man and they blitz. And what happens when all the secondary has their backs towards them and they blitz? Josh Allen is going to use his legs, exactly what Lamar Jackson does. So I do like that. I just think the Broncos are going to try to blitz and make his life hell. So I think Josh Allen is going to use his legs a lot. That's why I love his over rushing yards. That's my official play, his over 40.5 rushing yards. I lean over, though. Obviously, I'm worried about the weather conditions in Buffalo, and we're predicting this, 4 days in advance. So it is hard to predict the weather in Buffalo, especially in January. So as long as the weather cooperates, I do like the over. Sean Payton, 4-1 ATS in playoff games as an underdog. So to your point, I do think it might be a little too many points. I do think he'll have some tricks up his sleeves, especially for a vulnerable Bills pass defense, like I just alluded to. So I think Josh Allen should get 30 points here, and I do think Bo Nix can do his part and make it kind of a shootout game like we saw against the Bengals. So I'm going to take – I lean. I'm not official. I might get to the window. I'll tweet it out if I like it, but I lean over, but I do like Josh Allen rushing yards over 40.5. Do you like that play?
Yeah, I like Josh Allen over rushing just because like you said, he's gonna have to make some plays with his legs. The only thing that possibly could fuck you is how big is those kneel downs at the end of the
Yeah.
game.
Hopefully he clears it so those kneel downs
he
don't hurt.
does. Patrick Mahomes, when he takes a kneel down, he takes 4 or 5 yards back.
I know, it's crazy.
He needs to do the Brady, just like 3 inches.
Yeah, boom.
Because Brady wanted his yards,
Exactly. All right, okay, let's go to 4:30 here on Sunday. Game of the week at the Link. Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Green Bay Packers. Line opened up 3.5. It's moved towards Philly -4.5 here at home. -225 on the money line for the Eagles. +4.5 for the Packers. +195 for the Packers on the money line. Total 45.5. It's come down from 47, which it opened up as. Money has come down on the under. Kid, this one was. First of all, I agree with the line movement. I do like the under on the game, but what are your thoughts here?
I think this is honestly one of the better matchups of the week. I expect this game to be close. It's a tough one to pick, to be honest, just because I like Green Bay so much. I still got Green Bay live to win the NFC.
Wow.
I still have the ticket in just because I do have some confidence in them. But I honestly don't think they'll do it. But hey, gotta leave it in. Gotta let it ride. Without Christian Watson, not having that deep threat, can the offense still get those chunk plays like we saw last year in the playoff game in Jerry's World when they were just able to get, Kraft 40 yards, Romeo Dobbs 40, 30 yards, Christian Watson, Jalen Reed 20, 30 yards. So if they able to get those big plays in Philadelphia? That's my question. If they're not able to, though, this game might possibly be a blowout. If they're not able to get chunk plays, because we know Jalen Hurts with Saquon Barkley in that offense, they're going to be marching up and down the field.
Does he play? Because right now he is in still concussion protocol. He has his helmet on and he's been practicing, but
he's playing.
Yeah, he's playing.
He's missed 2 straight games.
Tanner McKee, though, watch out. He's good.
Yeah. McKee's been doing his thing. Kenny Pickett is hurt, but Jalen Hurts will play.
Okay.
It just is for me. It's gonna be a hard scenario where we see Jordan Love in that offense outgun Green Bay, Philly in that offense.
Mm-hmm.
Give me Philadelphia -4.5. in a tough spot for the Green Bay Packers. Maybe if that Christian Watson with that deep threat, maybe it opens some things up the middle. But I think Saquon with a week rested, his over under is at 103. I'm not even
Mm,
gonna touch it, but I'll
yeah.
tell you what, I do like the over.
Yeah, I told you I agree with the line movement, moving from 47 down to 45 and a half. I don't want to bet the full game, but I bet the first half under 23 and a half. And I like that. That's going to be my official play. I bet the under in the first game, week 1, I think they played in Brazil, turned out
Hmm.
to be a shootout, 34-29. So I was dead wrong about that, but at the same time, the additions Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley both led to a very run heavy offense for both teams. So, and I think from week 1 to the playoffs now, we've seen a major improvement on the defense. Vic Fangio's
Hmm.
defense. First, they got the best defense right now, according to all the numbers. Defense EPA per play against the run, against the pass. Since week 5, the Eagles have the best defense in the NFL. That there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And Jordan Love, you got the contract. He's had some up and downs in his sophomore year. I think as much of a Jordan Love fan as you are, I think you could admit that as well. He's had ups and downs this season. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, but he also dealt with a few injuries.
A
The
100%.
elbow, the back,
Yes.
that sprained MCL early on. So
And also he's also been affected without Christian Watson, who's going to be out. He's had players who were hurt. So
yeah,
regardless, he's had ups and downs. And I do think getting without Christian Watson, who is that, I guess he provides like that downfield presence for big plays. That's gonna hurt the Green Bay if it does turn into a shootout, I think. So and also I think the Packers defensively have improved under their new defensive coordinator Jeff Havley as well. So Jalen Hurts, I agree.
also Robert Sala's in the building now. He's an
Yeah.
assistant. You forgot.
Watch out. Robert Salah is on the head coaching prowl for Jacksonville as well.
Mhm.
I hope Robert. Real quick, I'm rooting for Robert Salah. The Jets
Yeah,
did him dirty.
yeah, absolutely.
And I agree to your point. I just wanted to throw it out there because technically he's still under concussion protocol, but I do think he will play Jalen Hurts. I think he could have a slow start to the game, missing a few weeks after the concussion.
That's why you
Green
have
Bay.
Saquon.
Yeah, just give it to Saquon. Both of these teams run heavy. Eagles first in rush per play. They rush the ball 56% of the time. And I mean, rightfully so when you have Saquon Barkley. And the Packers are third in the league 52% of the time. So both defenses, they're well equipped to stop the run, ranking top 7 in adjusted defensive line yards and defensive run DVOA. So I expect slow start to the game, kind of a feeling out process for both offense and two defenses that have massively improved since their week 1 matchup. So with neither quarterback, because Jordan Love, I don't think is 100%. And I don't even think, even though he's going to be cleared, I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to be 100% healthy. So, and two offenses that are going to want to run the ball. And I'm going to quote Elvis here. Favorite words when two teams run the ball. Tick, 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 tick. We're going to see a lot of movement going on. So I'm going to take the first half under 23 and a half, kind of middle in it a little bit. What do you think about that one?
I like it just because it's gonna be a tough game. I tell you that
Yeah.
it's gonna be a tough game. It just all depends. Still, it all depends. Is Jordan Love in that offense is going to be able to get chunk plays? That's my thing.
Yeah.
We know how good Eagles defense has been. Like you said, you just said the number since week 5, best defense in football. But can we see that offense come alive out of nowhere like we did last year in Jerry's world? That's my question. If they're able to get those chunk plays, watch out.
Let's see. Sunday Night Football, which I think is the game of the week. Washington Commanders hit the road to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers laying 3 at home, minus 156 on the money line. Redskins +3, plus 136 on the money line. Total 50.5. Kid, I am very interested to see where you're going, but I have a feeling you're going to take the home team here.
I tell you what, Dill, this was another tough game to come down on. The Commanders finished the season rolling. I gotta give them that. Dan Quinn is not in the conversation for coach of the year, but I think he should at least be in the conversation. Not saying he should win it, but I think Dan Quinn at least deserves to be somewhere in the ceremony. Jaden Daniels had himself a career, but I think the Bucks stop here. Not no point intended with the Buccaneers, but I think the Bucks stop here. Buccaneers, they're a proven team. Baker Mayfield, he had himself one hell of a year, and I'm gonna pull something from the Last Dance documentary. Baker Mayfield had one hell of a season, and he wasn't selected as a Pro Bowler. Jaden Daniels was. Baker might sit back and be like, you know what? Okay, watch this. And I think Baker is gonna have a watch this moment. Honestly, Dill, how well has Baker Mayfield played this season? The stats speak for itself. Now you're gonna have a healthy Mike Evans. The McKillen, he's coming on. He's looking like a stud as well. And Otto, the tight end. And Dill, what's been emerging all season long? Your boy, Bucky Irvin, who's becoming a stud. Dill, his over on the rushing yards is up there. There was at 88 for a reason, rightfully so. I think the Bucks, who's been there, done that all over, both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. I think they take care of business. I don't think the lights are going to be too bright for them come Sunday night. Todd Bowles been there, done that. Give me the Tampa Bay Bucks -3. Also like, might take it official because he's a baller. Baker Mayfield over 18 rushing yards. We know Baker Mayfield has that nice, not just one, a couple good runs in him. Wouldn't shock me if he busts one for 15 and he slams the ball and he starts pounding his chest.
Yeah, I'll say this real quick. I think great teaser spot for the Redskins, getting them up to +9. I do think it's going to be a very close game. Two of the best offenses, I think, that have improved from last year to this year, the Redskins and the Buccaneers. I think that is a fair assessment to say. I mean, Jaden Daniels, he's had a hell of a rookie revelation in his first year in Washington, and Baker Mayfield has had a career year with offensive coordinator Liam Cohen, who's getting a lot of buzz to get a head coaching job. So I'll say that to start it off, and I'm gonna take the Redskins +3 here. I got 3 plays actually. I like the Redskins +3. Jaden Daniels over 21.5 pass completions, and you mentioned him, my boy Bucky Irving, longest rush over 16.5 rushing yards. I think he's gonna break one, but the reason I like the Redskins here is just because they're going to face a Buccaneers team defensively that have struggled against the pass. They're 23rd in DVOA versus the pass. They play a lot of single high coverage, 6th most in the NFL, around 59%, and cover 3 at the highest rate, 47%. And Jaden Daniels has thrived against both of those in his rookie season. So I think he will be able to pick apart that secondary, who, unfortunately, I'll say for the Buccaneers, they've been riddled with injuries in that secondary. Troy Hill has been injured. Bryce Hall has been injured. Jordan Whitehead, his season is over. Unfortunately, he had that car accident. Antoine Winfield, Mike Edwards, they're all questionable. They've all been hurt. They haven't played since week 14. So I do think their secondary has been riddled with injuries, and I think that 21.5 passing completion completions for Jaden Daniels is a little low. He's cleared this number in 8 of 13 games this season, including 7 of his last 10. Buccaneers, they've allowed 24.6 completions per game, the most in the NFL, and 10 of 17 opposing quarterbacks have completed 22 plus passes. So love that play from Jaden Daniels. I think he could have a game, especially against not the best secondary. And one thing that we're not really talking about is Marshawn Lattimore in this game. He is going to be paired up against Mike Evans. I don't think Mike Evans is going to have a good game. He has struggled in his career against Marshawn Lattimore. So you think he's going to be on him, or I know he's going to be on him. I think Jalen McMillan could have a big game. I like Jalen McMillan. I think the rookie could have a big game. He had 50-plus receiving yards in 5 straight games to close out the season. His player prop, I think is an angle to consider because I think Mike Evans is going to be kind of on clamps this game. But my favorite play is actually the Bucky Irving prop. Oregon Duck, shout out Oregon, couldn't handle against my Buckeyes, but he's been one of the best big play backs for this team, and not just this team, for the NFL, ranking 7th in explosive rushing rate this year, 4th in rush yards and contact. I think he could be able to run against this Buccaneers team. So he is the full-time back. He's cleared the longest rush yard, which is at 16.5, in 5 of the 6 games with 14 plus carries. I do think he's going to get a workload against this Buccaneers team, who not the best against running back. So 3 plays. Love the Redskins +3. I think it's a good teaser to get him up to +9. I love Jaden Daniels against a very weak secondary, over 21.5 pass completions. And Bucky Irving, longest rush yard, over 16.5 yards. This is my favorite game. That's why I had 3 plays. But thoughts on that real quick?
I just love the energy. The fact that you're coming out 3 plays on Sunday Night Football.
I'm going to be invested.
Yeah, I just love the energy, Dale. Hopefully, I'm on the Bucks +3. Hey, it is what it is. Hopefully you could go 2-1, and I go 1-0. We both win.
Let's go to Monday night. It's moved. You and I were talking about how it was strange, or I thought at least it was strange, that Vikings, after laying an egg here on week 18, now going on the road against a proven Super Bowl winning coach and quarterback, opened up a 2.5-point favorite. Very confusing. Money has come in on the Rams. It's a pick 'em now. -105, -110, both on the money line. Spread, they are short favorites, -1 for the Vikings. Total is at 47.5. This is the closest one to the books, kid. What do you think?
Dill, to me, this is the toughest game to pick out of them all. Great game. Glad it's on Monday night solo stage. Minnesota Vikings coming off a terrible performance on Sunday Night Football. We all saw it against Detroit for the division. Struggled in the red zone. We know what a healthy Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and Puka Nacua is capable of doing. Caleb Williams has been one of the most consistent running backs all season long, Dill. And with that defense, it's a little better than we all anticipated. Let's just say that. Can they make Sammy D struggle in the red zone like he did last week? I give him a shot to. Rams can bring the pressure, and they have a pretty good secondary. Not great, but pretty good. If the Rams are able to score points, which I will say they have been struggling a little bit offensively, but we also saw them put up 45 against the Buffalo Bills at home. Where's this game at? At home. So let's show with the offensive threat still.
Yeah.
Give me the Rams. I'm taking the Rams. I think they're live dogs. I know people are gonna be surprised here, but like I said, I would not be surprised if a healthy Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Cooper Kupp win a playoff game or two. I think it's gonna be a tough task. Wouldn't be surprised at all if Minnesota Vikings win this game. But my money's going to be with the Rams at home. Give me Matthew Stafford. Give me Sean McVay. Give me who's been there and done that deal. I also like the under, 47.5. I think this is a lot of points. Like I said, Rams offense been struggling a little bit as of late. And we just saw Minnesota Vikings struggle in the red zone, struggled against man-to-man defense. Guess what? Sean McVay and that defensive staff, Def was watching that game on Sunday night. Def going to implement that into the defensive plan deal. They know it hasn't just been Sunday night. It's been all season. Sammy D struggled in the red zone deal. Remember that game they won? He threw 3 picks all in the red zone, trying to target Justin Jefferson. Yes, they came out winning those games. In a playoff, you're not going to win those games. You turn the ball over 2 to 3 times. Give me the Rams on the money line. Give me the under 47.5, and give me Puka Nacua over 88 receiving yards. Cooper Kupp has been a little quiet, but Puka Nacua has turned into the number 1 receiver.
Yeah, I'm not going to take a side here. I do think agree to you. I think this is the hardest game to handicap. I could see both teams winning. I think it's going to be a close game. And we thought on week 18 on Sunday night against the Vikings and Lions, it was projected to be a shootout. I thought it was going to be a shootout. Minnesota's offense never got on the bus that game. I still think they're sitting
For
on
the
the bus.
division. That's the concerning part. The fact that they didn't show up for the division title, not just a week 14 matchup, not just for the division title.
Yeah. And we mentioned it. That was arguably Sam Darnold's worst game of the season when it mattered the most. And Vikings were held to their third worst offensive performance, according to EPA, in a game under Kevin O'Connell.
Wow. That's 4 years.
Yes, that is very concerning. You mentioned third and fourth down in the red zone. Vikings went 3-16 on third and fourth downs and 0 for 4 in the red zone, logging the single worst red zone success rate in a game over the last 5 seasons. You got to give credit, obviously, to Aaron Glenn and the Lions defensive coordinator for their strategy against the Vikings. They blitzed the hell out of him. He could never get credit. And I think the Rams are going to be very different. They really don't blitz all that much, which concerns me. But I think they're going to watch that game and say, you know what, let's blitz a little bit more. Not as much as the Lions did, but they do have to blitz a little more.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to disagree. I'm going to take I don't love this, but I am going to take the over. It's gone from 46 to 47. As long as it stays at 47, I do like the over. 48 is a key number. But, playoff games played indoor stadiums are 35-18 towards the over, hitting at 66% since 2003. Since not like last week, but I do think we're gonna see a lot of scoring here on Monday night. We got referee, excuse me, John Halsey, 11-4 towards the over, with games averaging 51 points when he's the head referee. So I grabbed it at 46. The line has moved to 47.5. I would still play it at 47.5. If it gets to 48, which I do think it might, I'm going to stay away from the game and just enjoy. I can't come down on a side. I can't fault you for taking the Rams. I think with Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Karen Williams, even the rookie kicker, Joshua Carty, he ended the season he made 13 straight field goals, 57 of 58 on the season. Watch out. I mean, no, seriously, like that's big in the postseason. You laugh, but kid, when you need points, you even say it the most. When we watch games, I said, damn, would you have gone for it? How many times do you tell me I would have kicked it? I would have taken the 3.
I'm taking the points every time.
So I think having a great field goal kicker is essential in the playoffs. So I really don't know who's going to win this game. I could see the Vikings win, but I could also see the Rams win at home. I think it's going to be a shootout. That's the side I came down under, kid. But this was the game I had no real confidence in, as you could tell by my handicap. Let's get to the lock, dog, and teaser, kid. Not a lot to choose from. We have 6 games here for Wild Card Weekend. What do you like?
I'm gonna start it off with a 2-way teaser, Dill. I'll tell you the
three, huh?
The 3 legs is out the window. We're going minus.
I thought that
money.
Was next year.
We're going minus. It is next year, Dill. Where you been? Where you been? It's 2025.
When is the cutoff for saying Happy New Year, too, by the way? Because people keep saying it to me. I'm like, bro, it's the 8th and the 9th. What are we doing?
Was it the first time they saw you all year?
Yeah, but, bro, come on.
I would say after the first time you see them.
Okay, that's fair.
After
I would say after the 6th or the 7th, no more Happy New Year.
Nah. If I like, for example, if I ain't see you till the 20th, I'm gonna Happy New Year, my boy. It is what it is. But after that, I'm not gonna say it to you on the 23rd.
Yeah,
that's a little weird.
That's fair. Yeah, it is weird.
It is weird. So I'm gonna go 2-way teaser minus 134. People, give me Buffalo minus 2.5. Give me Baltimore Ravens down to minus 3.5. Like I said, 2 big dogs. I mean, two heavy favorites. I expect both of them to take care of business. But, it's playoff football, people. I'm going to give a little respect as well. Give me the 2 heavy home favorites. Buffalo down to minus 2.5. Ravens to minus 3.5. For the dog, I'm going to go with the Rams. plus 102 on the money line, Dill. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if this Rams team wins a playoff game or two. Like I said, they've been there, done that. And at the end of the day, who, who you gonna pick when it comes down to it in the NFC? You're gonna pick Puka Nakua, Matthew Stafford, and Sean McVay. You're gonna pick a different trio with a little sprinkle of Cooper Cup. Still nine. I'm not 9 out of 10 times, but most of the time I'm gonna take Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, and a healthy Puka Nakua. I could tell you that. So give me the dog of the weekend, the Los Angeles Rams, and lock. This one's a little tough. I do like the Chargers a lot. I do think the Chargers minus 2.5 could possibly be the lock deal. Give me Puka Nakua over 88 receiving yards. I think he's going to have a big game. Like I said, Cooper Cup hasn't really been that impactful, but who's been impactful, Dill? Puka Nakua. I feel like he's went over this mark every game since he's been thrown out of that Seattle game, I believe. So give me Puka Nakua over 88 receiving yards, minus 115 as the lock of the weekend.
I'm going to start it with my teaser. I'm going to keep the 3-legger. I'm going to tease Baltimore down to minus 3.5. I like that, from 9.5 down to 3.5. I'm going to tease the Bills down to 3.5 as well. And I'm going to tease the Redskins up from +3 to +9. That is my 3-leg teaser, plus 160. I got it on a different book. I like that. Dog, I am going to go Redskins. I don't think it's a crazy thing if we come here and we sit here on Monday and talk about, wow, the Redskins upset Baker Mayfield. I don't think that's an outlandish thing to say. It is only 3 points. Scary secondary. I think Jaden Daniels could really expose them. Bucky Irvington, think he could expose the run defense as well for the Buccaneers. I'm sorry, Baker. I'm a big Baker fan. I think he had a hell of a season. But Jaden Daniels is a hell of a quarterback. Marshawn Lattimore is going to lock up Mike Evans. Give me the Redskins as my dog, plus 136. And as my lock, we've been saying this for, over a month now. Give me Los Angeles Chargers minus 2.5. This Texans team is fraudulent. I like this. I like the defensive ends on both sides with Hunter and Will Anderson. I do think they'll be able to try to get some pressure, but that offensive line with Joe Alt and Rashad Slater is going to protect Justin Herbert. Love the run game. I think Ladd McConkey could have a good game as well. Think they go on the road, and Jim Harbaugh is going to win this game. Give me the lock of the weekend. I gave you 2 locks. I do like Ohio State. That is my number 1 lock. But my number 2 lock, I am going to take the Chargers minus 2.5. Kid, good luck. Super wild card weekend. Let's have a day. Let's transition to the association. Like I said, 8 games here on a Thursday. We got some key games. Warriors, Pistons. Shout out Pistons, man. Mm-hmm. I'm glad they're 500 for the first time in like 3 to 4 years. So I'm glad to see Cade Cunningham is a baller. Yeah. We started this pod 3 years ago, and we used to bet on Cade Cunningham in Oklahoma State. And what did I say? I said, kid, watch out for this kid. He's going to be the number 1 pick. And look at him. Now he's, I don't want to say top 5, but
he's thriving.
He's thriving right now. So love that game. That is a good game. T-Wolves Magic. Looks like Paulo Banchero might make his debut either Thursday or Friday. He might return against the against the T-Wolves, excuse me. And we mentioned it at the top of the show. The Rockets, man. That's a great game. Rockets and Grizzly against the 2 and the 3 seed. That is a really good game. And maybe the Suns. Say what you want. I'm not the biggest Hawks fan, but Trae Young has been bugging these past few games. He hit the game winner the other night, half-court shot. I'm not the biggest Trae Young fan, but I know he's really good. So we got some key games.
And you know who else been honestly surprisingly pretty good? And I give him a lot of shit last year, especially during the playoffs. Tobias Harris. He's been pretty consistent for the Pistons. He's giving them around 14 to 20 a night.
That's all they need.
That's all they need. So, gotta give some credit to Tobias Harris because I came at him last year. So, gotta give him some credit.
Everyone did. It's all good.
Yeah, let's get into it. For any live listeners right now, the only play I like tonight is the Pelicans minus 1.5 against the Portland Trailblazers. Like I said, Zion is back. I'm not saying they're gonna make a run, but wouldn't be surprised when all healthy, they make the 10th seed. Make a play-in type of scenario. That's all. But let's get in Thursday night, January 9th, 7 o'clock start. Minnesota Timberwolves taking on the Orlando Magic. Over under sitting at 206.5, 207. Shop around. Minnesota lane 3.5 on the road. Give me the Orlando Magic plus 3.5. If it gets to 4, I love the 4. Come tomorrow. Don't get me wrong, Minnesota. Anthony Edwards been balling. Yeah, they won 2 in a row, but offensively, like you said earlier, Julius Randle hasn't been working out. I don't know what it is, and honestly, I think Orlando Magic right now, even without Paulo, is just playing a little better basketball. Give me the plus 3.5 at home. Next game, we just talked about it. Golden State Warriors taking on the Detroit Pistons. Pistons, like you said, 500 team, won 4 straight games. I think they're going to make it 5. Give me the Detroit Pistons minus 130 on the money line, Dale. This Warriors team, I can't really get them. I've been losing money left and right on them. Either I take them or I bet against them, and they fuck me either way. But I think Detroit Pistons is going to take care of money. Give me the Pistons minus 130 on the money line in Detroit. Next game, marquee matchup. Houston Rockets taking on the Memphis Grizzlies. I highly doubt Ja's going to be in this game, Dale. Give me Houston minus Honestly, I'm taking Houston on the money line, minus 145. I will lean the 3.5 as well. Is that plus money or minus 105? Shop around, people. But for now, give me Houston on the money line, minus 145. And then the last game I'm touching, the Charlotte Hornets taking on Los Angeles Lakers. Disappointing loss the other night against the Dallas Mavericks without Luka and Kyrie. I think the Lakers bounce back, but I don't think they cover the big number. Give me the plus 9.5 with the Charlotte Hornets to end the night.
LaMelo Ball's been a baller recently. You heard Jello's new tape? He the hottest rapper out.
He's top 10 in Apple Music right now. Probably gonna end up on the Billboard. I might swerve in that corner. Whoa.
Oh, I haven't heard. Is it good?
It's a hit. Platinum.
Yeah, no. Objectively, I know we're fans, but is it
realistically better than you will think?
Okay.
It's a vibe. It ain't nothing crazy lyrical, Dill. It's just something you throw on and you bump driving around with the boys. This ain't
it's not lyrical though.
Yeah, it's not Nas.
Oh,
this ain't Kodak
Drake
in 2019. Nah, it ain't that. But it's a catchy.
I mean, it has to be good.
Song.
He's they put him on Rolling Loud.
It's a hit. In my opinion, it's a hit. I might swerve in that corner. Whoa. Like I said,
is he a better rapper or basketball player?
Lonzo wrote the song, so I'm gonna say basketball player. But my boy, he's doing what he got.
Oh, wait. LiAngelo didn't write it?
Of course not.
This is confirmed?
I'm not gonna say he didn't write it, but I'm gonna say Lonzo wrote majority of the song. Yes.
Oh, we know Lonzo's a rapper.
Yeah, we know Lonzo. He's Triple B's. I'm the man.
We gotta stop. People gotta stop disrespecting LeVar Ball too.
You is the people still.
No. I was, but I turned around.
All right.
I turned around.
We could go backtrack on this show, Dill. Years in the archives.
I wasn't a fan of him, but he's a genius.
For years, I've been supporting him. In my opinion, Lamar might be the greatest dad of all time.
Now, I'll say I like the way he goes about certain things, but he is a genius. All 3 sons in college, 2 of them in the league. One's a rapper now, I guess.
LaMelo ain't need college. He ain't need college.
No.
None of his sons really needed college.
Yeah.
So great fathers
I guess
do.
they did just to get into the league.
That's what great fathers do. Like I said, Lamar might goes down as the greatest father of all time.
LaMelo
son with a platinum hit, future platinum hit, got 2 sons, top 3 overall NBA picks.
And LaMelo's the best baller, right, out of the family? Yeah.
I'm gonna say LeVar.
Wow.
I'm gonna say LeVar.
He said he took Michael Jordan 1-on-1.
He said he would. Now believe him. He said in my heyday, he's too little.
Yeah, he's the funniest. I'll tell him that.
He said he's too small. I bet you LeVar is only like 6'8".
Like
6'7". Like Jordan wasn't 6'6".
How are the shoes doing?
What shoes? Oh, Party sold out. Bonnie sold out. I know he got some slippers. Honestly, I'm gonna need me a pair. Hopefully they.
You would rock them
at a reasonable price. Yes.
huh? If they were gifted to you, you have to pay a set.
Or I'll rock them till the soles fall off.
Oh wow!
If they're like like $29.99, I'll buy them. They're like $59.99 just for some sandals. I don't know. I don't know.
That's hilarious. But all right, kid. Good luck this weekend. Have a day.